See, somebody been getting it in. And Mark to do.
I think I'm ready for my Hebrew test.
Hey, Shalom, Israel, Yahweh, Shem Yahshai, Barakatham, Yahweh Shema Alatah, Shem Yahshai. This is I.S.U.P.K. Indianapolis Friday Hebrew class. We about to get in. I'm Officer in the Padazai Alabama, Officer 5000. Also got a on YouTube, got the Cincinnati channel. So it's going to be Facebook, Indianapolis, YouTube is Cincinnati, but it's all the same. Get the same information. So like we do every Friday, we always kick it off with the alphabet. If you got any questions online, go ahead and post your question. We even take some scripture questions if you want. We got Captain Qadash in the house as usual on Fridays, rocking it out with us for the Hebrew. So if you got any scripture questions, you can post those as well. I'm sure he would oblige. Other than that, we're gonna get started. All right, so like I said, we're gonna kick it off with the alphabet. And if you do got questions, punch them. Hey, Shalom, Yahbashim Shpakatah, Qadash, Ya Allah, brother from Texas, always checking in, Most High in Christ. All right, no sweat, no questions. All right, first letter. Like I said, as usual, we always start off with the ancient Hebrew, all right? And we always talk about how the ancient Hebrew is different from the Assyrian Hebrew. We'll get into that. But this right here, this first line that we're doing is the ancient Hebrew. So this is the I. That's the sounds it makes. It looks like a sideways A. I. Right? This is Ba. That's Ba. That's the second letter. Ga. Da. Like Russian. Da. Ha. Got a question? Oh, no, he's just checking in again. No sweat. Za. Salaki. Y, actually. Y is next. Then the Za. Make sure you can see that. Ka. Ka. And Ta. A black marker a little stronger. Ya. And Ka. All right. So now we're going to drop down. We're going to space it out and continue the ancient. We got La. You got Ma. You got Na. All right. You got any words you want to look up in Hebrew? You can post those in here too. Any Hebrew words you wanna learn? Post those. La mana sa. Yep, sa. And I. And pa. And taza. Taza. And qua. And ra. And sha. And ta. Abagada hawaza ka ta ya ka la manasa I pa taza kwa ra shata. You wanna try the Assyrian?
Dang, you give me a hard one.
Everybody like to do the ancient Hebrew.
God, I just noticed that. I was just looking like, dang, I thought I was waiting until I see the series.
So everybody who chiming in, the reason why brothers prefer brothers and sisters, I shouldn't just say brothers, but like if you learn in Hebrew, you prefer most of the time. I say most of the time because I can't speak for everybody, but I would say everybody I talk to, they prefer learning the ancient because the ancient letters are much simpler. None of the letters look alike. Whereas as we get into the Assyrian Hebrew, you'll see that some of the letters that the brother's writing, they're going to look similar. You can get jammed up when you read them in the text. So it's a lot easier if things were written in ancient Hebrew, which most things are not unless you have like an artifact. Because modern day Hebrew is mainly taught or mainly spoken by the so-called Jewish man, which he is not a Jew, but he speaks Yiddish, which is a Slavic tongue. It has Slavic roots. So any of those, European languages, Germany, Croatia, Slovenia, all those different languages, they're the root of it is a Slavic tongue. So that's what Yiddish is. It's basically, a lot of times if you can understand German, you can probably understand a good portion of Yiddish, which is not ancient Hebrew, right? Because that's modern Hebrew, and they use the Assyrian letters to sound of their words, right? But this is ancient Hebrew, right? So when you see this symbol, the sound it makes is ah, ba, ga, da, and so on and so forth. So we're gonna bring the young man up, and he's gonna rock it out, get a little class participation, and he's gonna do the Assyrian, all right? And you just write it up under all the way. Most High in Christ. And if you could just write one and kind of step aside so people can see. Yep. Take your time. Ain't no rush. Ain't nobody asking no questions on Facebook. Nobody want to know any Hebrew words? Not one? Cool. Perfect. That's the ah in the Syrian. Makes the same sound. Just a little lesson to everybody who log on and paying attention for a few minutes. When you see the symbol the brother just wrote, point to it if you could. If you see that symbol, just know it's the same sound as the ancient Hebrew. Anusti Dawkins, Salaki, if I pronounced that wrong, go ahead. If you got a question, go ahead and post it in there. Mukwawa, I think they say, so you asked what they say in Yiddish, how they say it. I think they say Yahuwah. We could look it up. I'll look it up for you, Mukwawa.
That's what they say. They do say Yahuwah.
Well, I can't remember whether that's for the Lord or that's for Yahushua. I can't remember. But I'm gonna look it up because it's.
Yeah, I think that's just for Yahushua. Sure.
How do I say Quantel Johnson in Hebrew? so like, yeah, we can't say those like. It'll be, you have to find a meaning for Quantel Johnson, right? So that's an English language. The best you could do ever, is probably transliterate it into something, and it wouldn't even be the same. So you can't really like take names like that per se. You could take the meaning of a name. So if like Quantel Johnson meant, I don't know, running warrior, right? We could translate that and we can find a word in Hebrew for running warrior. But as far as saying English names in Hebrew, that'd be a tough one. I'm sure we could do the letters and put it together, but it wouldn't be the same though. So Salakia for that. Just like Jesus is not the same as Yahushua, right? Hey, Shalom, Lord in Christ. Tomika Odom. You keep going, brother. You get the next. You can get the next letter. I'm gonna look this up for Mukwawa. We'll keep going. I would connect that piece in there, so there's no space.
And because in the blue letter Bible, it's probably gonna be like that, or the handwritten.
No, I mean if you handwrite it like that, you tawab and make sure that you got a little lip, so you good.
Okay. Because in the blue letter Bible, it's not gonna be the same sometimes as handwriting.
Well, either way, as long as you handwrite it like that, you tawab. So.
Okay.
So that's the ba. That's what it looked like. Go ahead.
The God.
God, Most High, correct.
God.
Okay, so it says, well, that's my name, and I'm trying my best to get more knowledge on who I am. I was raised by Christians, but I have no religion until I know and understand what's real. No sweat. Well, you are in the perfect place. It's like I said, if I mispronounce your name, Anusti, I'm sure I'm butchering it, but you're in the right place, because if you descend from Blacks, Hispanics, or Native Americans, then you are a descendant of the 12 lost tribes of the nation of Israel, right? And what you can do is forget about that name, Quantel Johnson, and you can come and get a Hebrew name, and that's what people will know you as, and that's what people will call you as. In fact, so much so, I have my mom, both my parents, they call me by my Hebrew name. As much as they love the name that they gave me, I asked them, and they respected my wishes to call me by my Hebrew name. So if you want to be born again, you want a new identity, then you need to come in here and change your life, and you'll find all that you need to know about, even though you was raised Christians, which Christianity is a lie. The first reason it's a lie because it's man-made, right? The Bible is not a man-made. The Bible doesn't have religion in it. The Bible is simply a set of laws, statutes, and commandments given to a people. So there's no Christian, there's no Islam, there's no Episcopalian, there's no Baptist, there's none of that. It's just the Lord is our power, and we do what he say based on the rules that he gave us. And if we don't, we're punished. And if we do, then we are the greatest people on the face of the earth. So you damn sure in the right place. You want to keep coming, right? Damn right. I believe Christians are brainwashed devils. Some of them are so evil. No, you telling the truth. The people who do the most wicked are Christians. The KKK, what were they? Christians. Your Christian pastor who's molesting the kids in the basement, what is he? A Christian. You know what I mean? The cop who pulls you over and blows your head off, he is a Christian. So you are absolutely right. Christianity is not only white supremacy, but it's, you worshiping Satan. It's the house of Satan for sure. So you're doing the right thing. Keep rocking it out in here. In fact, not just this class, get in all the classes. Get in as many classes as you can. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna get Makwawa's question. Hold on, let me see what you got.
Okay.
So the za, I would change it up a little bit.
More and more.
The za has a little slant, so it is not quite a T.
Okay.
All right. Yep. Okay, you're gonna get the next line now.
Oh, I just gotta put the Syrians or the this is connected.
Okay, so the point that we was bringing out earlier about Assyrian being the point that we was bringing out about Assyrian being easy or tougher is what we about to get into now. So this is the first 5 letters in Assyrian. The ending looks different, right? So if you got the letter Ka, point to the letter Ka if you could, the Assyrian one. If you got the letter Ka right there, which looks kind of like a backward C, if you got it in between 2 letters, it looks like the brothers point to. But now what he's about to write is what it looks like if it's at the end of a word. So it's different when it's at the end of a word. It looks different.
It's like it. Am I doing it right? That means it's connected.
No, ain't no connectors. That's the other thing. Ain't no connectors in Assyrian Hebrew. All you have to do is write what it looks like in the ending when it's at the end of a word.
Oh, okay.
All right. So you could do.
Oh, that's what. Okay, I got confused.
No sweat.
As I was here, that's what he was talking about.
So that's what you're here for. So you could delete that.
Huh?
No, you could erase that, and then just put the ending.
But that could be in the middle of a word or something.
What can be in
the ka? Good. Like the ka.
What do you mean?
And between the word, like it could be in the middle.
That's how it looks if it's in between 2 letters.
Okay.
But if it's at the end of the word, how does it look?
Ka.
That's it. That's how it looks at the end of the word. So when you learn in Assyrian, you not only have to learn the normal letters, the a, ba, ga, da, ha, wa, za, ka, ta, ya, ka. You also have to learn what ka looks like when it's at the end of a word, which is the last symbol that he drew. So that's why Assyrian is a little tougher. All right, you keep going.
Okay. La.
I would give it a little bit more squeaky.
Did that dude who came by and talking about his son got shot? Did he come to class?
Yeah.
All right, keep going. And after you finish this, we're gonna get a couple questions.
Correct. Right for his son.
Yeah. It's kind of white way, kind of putting them a little bit on the screw. A little bit.
So that ma is a little off. Right? See if you can make it more like that.
You know, I'm just practicing between, you know, trying to look at it and then try to figure it out real quick.
It's all good because when brothers and sisters, you know, actually write it out, they'll see how difficult it is to actually make. The reason is you have to be careful on the ma's because the ma is another symbol where if it's in between two letters, it looks one way, but if it's at the end of a word, it looks another way. So as soon as you finish this, I see we got at least 2 questions, so we'll get those next. Cool. Now that looks like a ma. All right. So the brother just wrote a ma. So again, this is a letter. It looks like that if it's in between 2 letters. Now how does it look when it's at the end of a word?
Basically like an O.
Yeah, it's a little more rounded. That's cool. We'll rock with that. So just try to keep in mind when you're reading it in the text. Point to the first one. When you're reading it in the text, the ma. It'll look like that. But if it's at the end of a word, it'll look like that right there. All right. So let's get the na.
No.
Yep. Where you located at? You said you need a location. We got schools, you know, all across damn near the world at this point. So just let me know where you located. I'll let you know where the nearest school is to you. All right. So now we got the na. The brother wrote the na. Right.
That's in the between the word.
Right. Cool.
And that's at the end of a word.
Right. So that's the na. It's another. So you got 5 letters where they look different when it's at the end of a word. Go ahead. Get the sa. And this is what I always say this when I teach class. Right. It's easy to want to jump in and start speaking Hebrew immediately, but if you're not learning the alphabet, you're not going to learn how to pronounce these words. Right. So it's imperative that you learn how to, you know, recognize the symbols and pronounce the words, because if not, when you get in, you know, Sabbath service, you're not gonna say the right thing. Right? It takes practice, just like anything else. When you was a kid, you were taught your ABCs, and you know, you had sight words and how to sound out words and how to count syllables and all that stuff. Hebrew, you got to put in the time, right? You got to put in the time if you want to get good at it. Facebook don't like your hate comment. Yeah, that's cool. You know, be careful, because it's better to be on Facebook so you catch these classes than get kicked off. So just put where you located at, and then I can tell you where the school is nearest you. All right. That the V is too big on that. I would make that. It's not proportional. I change that one.
But the sa.
The sa is.
No, I'm saying you didn't tell them about that one. You see how it looks like the ma.
We'll get to that. Mm-hmm. Damn, Facebook not playing today. They just posted one little comment. It was like, yeah, they flagged for hate speech on here.
Flagged our video?
No, this the person that made the comment. Yeah, they not playing.
I was about to start vamping up that type of stuff.
Right.
War stuff.
42nd Arlington, what city though?
Indianapolis.
I don't know where Arlington at.
Arlington's down the street.
Right down the street from the high school.
Gotcha. I just wanted to be sure because I didn't know if this person was in Indianapolis or not.
Yeah, that high school we went to, remember for the basketball kids?
Oh, gotcha.
That was about 42nd and Post right there around that area.
Okay.
I'm 42nd and Arms.
All right. So I'm putting the address to the school. We got classes every Monday through Friday from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we got Sabbath service from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. So make sure you come during any of those times. All right, so that's where we at. We're on 10th Street in the hood, Indianapolis, Indiana. Damn right. I just wanted to be sure before you said 42nd Arlington. The brothers act like I should have known. I don't be on the side of town like that. All right, so we got the pi. Now notice the pi is another letter where it looks one way. Let's draw a line. If you could draw a line from the Syrian on the top. No, on the top one. Nope, I got it. Check it out. So we got up here above the line. That's ancient. I just wanted to make sure that people not getting confused. All right. You got the ancient on the top, and we're working on the Assyrian now. And so, like I mentioned earlier, the Assyrian is a little bit more confusing because you got different symbols or different. The letters look different when they're at the end of the word. Go ahead. So we got 5 letters to go. You want me to put your number in there?
What's yes?
This is the number to call.
Yeah. In fact, you put your number.
Okay. All right, let them check that out. That's the Tazaf. That's good. That's good. You good. All right. Now let's get the last 4, and we're done with the alphabet. So, like I mentioned, anybody who wants to get good at just saying the simple things, right? So once you get the pronunciation right and can identify the letters, it's gonna help a lot when you learning the Hebrew. All right. Cool. So that's the Qua. Go ahead. Yep. That's the Ra. Step aside so they can see. That's the Ra that he just made.
Shot.
Uh-huh. What you got? Okay, that's the shot. The thing I like about the shot, it looks they both look like W's. So I think it's a little glare on the screen, so they might not be able to see it too well. But
There you go. There you go. Ah, perfect.
all right.
Start.
Last one. Cool. All right, clap it up. That's a damn good job, yo. Like just writing your Hebrew has improved since you've been in class. So, like the brother was saying, there's a couple things to call out for Assyrian Hebrew. Like I said, when you do the ancient, the line on top, all the characters look different, right? All the letters look different. You really can't confuse one with the other, right? But in Assyrian, you got letters that look the same. For instance, this one is actually a little bit more.
I was looking for you, whichever you want.
All right. So you got the ha. The ha looks similar to the tha and the ka, right? It is a slight mistake. Very small.
They could do it.
Okay.
They gotta do
So you got this letter and this letter and this letter. If you're reading it in the text, it's gonna look kind of different, right? The tha or the ha has a space at the top in between, right? And then the ka actually looks like the pi symbol. It's a slight tail on both sides. And then the tha is actually connected all the way, right? So that's how you're going to distinguish those three letters. You distinguish the three with what I just said. The tha is connected. The ka looks more closely related to the pi symbol, 3.124. Damn near everybody learned that in math, even if you went to public school, so that shouldn't be an excuse. And then the ha has a little space. So you have to be careful with those three letters. Then you have to be careful with the ka and the ending na, right? Both those ending letters, they look pretty much the same. But the na looks, up here is the top part looks longer. Okay. And then what else looks the same? The sa and the ma. So the ma, you see the brother got the tail, he did it right. I'm just gonna accentuate it, exaggerate it. The tail is straight, and the sa, it looks like a circle too, but the tail goes straight up. So that's how you distinguish the difference between those. You just have to realize when you're reading Assyrian Hebrew in text, you have to take your time, because if not, you're going to confuse different letters, because that's just how Assyrian is, right? Okay, so that's it. If there's no questions on the alphabet, let's get a couple questions that was posted in the group. All right. So Mukwawa asked a question. It's not called Slavic Hebrew. It's called Yiddish. Slavic is kind of the root of it. Just like Spanish. The root of it is a Latin-based language, right? Portuguese, I believe, also is a Latin-based language. So it's not called Slavic Hebrew. It's called Yiddish, right? But I don't see any questions on the alphabet. So let me erase this, and then I'm going to write up here what you'll see. I'm going to answer Mukwawa's question, all right? Just make sure there ain't no questions on the alphabet before I go. You got a question, young landmark?
Nah.
Okay, sure. All right. All right, there's no questions on the alphabet, so that's it with that. Okay, the question was, how do they say Christ's name in Yiddish? And this is what, let me write it. Let me get some different markers. These markers look like they're going out.
It's not down there behind you, no?
I don't know. I had put them in here originally. Okay. Yep. I got it. Throw it. All right. So Mukwawa asks about all right, Mukwawa. A lot of times, when you look up name, the name of Christ in Yiddish, or if you hear them pronounce it, they say Yeshua or Yahshua. I believe Yahshua is what they actually use. If you go on the internet, you might see Yeshua. But either way, that's not his name. His name in Hebrew is Yahawashai, right? So, and we know this because in ancient Hebrew, there are no vowels, right? So when you see a U, in what they're saying, right? This I is not a vowel. This I is just a sound. We write it as I in English to make, because you only know how to say I in English with the letter I. But if you write it in Hebrew, all right, so that's Yahweh Shai, right? Yahweh Shai. But we only have I here because that's how you know how to say I in English. But that's not a vowel. Just like when you see this O, that's not an O. It makes the sound I, right? That's Hebrew. So there's no vowels. But when they speak Yiddish, this is actually a vowel U. But ancient Hebrew has no vowels in it. So you can't have a name in ancient Hebrew anyway, Yeshua or Yahshua, right? So you know off the bat that this is wrong. That can't be his name, right? Because again, there's a U in there, right? So anyway, that's how, if you look it up, that's how they'll say Christ's name. And I think I'm gonna do a quick Google. Now you can Google all this that I'm saying. Everything that I'm saying about this Yiddish, all you got to do is say, because what you find on the internet is when people Google Hebrew, it's more than likely it's going to come up with something Yiddish. Unless you run across something Black Hebrew Israelitish, anything that you Googling on the internet, damn near is going to be Yiddish. Unless like you're Googling the artifact, the Los Lunas Stone, the Dead Sea Scrolls, something like that. But most of the time you're going to get Yiddish. So if you just Google, like for instance, for Yahshua, I Google what is Jesus' name in Hebrew, and that came up, right? So now you can Google what is God's name in Hebrew. Right, and you'll see Yahweh. You'll see. I thought I heard him say something else, Yehuda maybe, but I'm not seeing it. So Yahweh for sure, which obviously you can look up in your Blue Letter Bible. Anybody that's been following along with this class, you can look up the Lord's name in the Blue Letter Bible, and it's gonna tell you. You're gonna look up the word Lord, and it's gonna say Yahweh, Yahweh, like that, right? So you can look that up in the Blue Letter Bible, or you find a Strong's Concordance and look up the Hebrew word, and you'll find that. So where they get the Yahweh from, obviously that's wrong. That's not ancient Hebrew. So again, you just look it up. All you gotta do is Google what is God's name in Hebrew and what is Jesus' name in Hebrew, and Yiddish is gonna come up, and you'll see this, and then you'll know when you look up Jesus' name, Yahawashai. You keep coming to Hebrew class, you're gonna know that this is the Yah, this is the Ha, this is the Wa, this is Salaki, this is the Shah, and this is the I. Yahawashai. That's how you say Christ's name, right? Yahweh. You're gonna see that. You could blue letter Bible that all day and find that. So whatever they saying is his name is wrong. But anyway, that's just, you ask the question. That's how you if you want to find out what Yiddish is. And in fact, when you here's another thing you can do, right? Another thing you can do, not that you should spend a whole bunch of time worrying about Yiddish, but another thing you can do is this. All right, so this is ah in ancient Hebrew, right? So we say, when you see this symbol, we say make the sound ah. But in Yiddish, they don't use this for ah. They use it for something else. It's like a lock or something. I don't know. You can Google that too. You can look up the alphabet, the Syrian alphabet, like I said, which is going to be the only alphabet that you see in modern text. You're not going to see ancient Hebrew in modern text because they think of it as another language, really, essentially. A lot of people call it Aramaic. There's another name for it too that they be using that I can't think of. I battled some white cat. He was like, what did Christ speak? I said, he spoke ancient Hebrew. He was like, no, you idiot. He spoke so-and-so. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. He spoke Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, what you would consider Aramaic. But anyway, that was a side battle. But when you go look up this symbol, or if you go look up the ba, right? Say you went and looked up the ba. Matter of fact, let's do it. Let's give one quick example. Then we got another question about hot and cold. I think it was the sister, if I'm not mistaken, went to see what hot and cold is in Hebrew. All right, so we got ba, right? So let's just look up what ba would be in Yiddish, or the letter B in Yiddish. What sound would it make? We're gonna Google it real quick. You can Google it with me too.
The Allah or
The B, ba.
Ba. You said what? Salaki.
Go ahead.
You said what sound does it make? Or what did you say?
Yep.
Okay, so
That's another thing too. All right, so if you Google Hebrew, it's going to give you the Phoenician, the Hebrew, which is modern Hebrew. Then it's going to say Aramaic. Right, Aramaic is really ancient Hebrew, is what most people refer to it as, but they'll say it's Aramaic. All right, so you look up the B in ancient Hebrew, like I said, it'll say ba, but if you look it up in reference to modern Hebrew, it's going to say bet. Right? That's what they call it. They call it a bet. They don't call it the ba like we have it in ancient Hebrew. They say bet, right? And then it makes some kind of V sound. So, it's damn, like I said, it's damn near like German. German replaces certain letters, like the W is a V. So I went to a place in Germany one time. It was called Worms. I was calling it Worms. No, it's not worms. It's Worms, right? The W makes a V sound, similar to here in this language. This bet, this symbol is going to make I think it said V sound. It doesn't matter what it says. Just know that if you're learning this here, that's Yiddish. That's not ancient Hebrew. It's a lot of cats who claim to be, scholars. They'll learn this, but that's not ancient Hebrew. What we teach in here is ancient Hebrew. We have brothers go back and study, not the modern Hebrew, but the Hebrew that you'll find on the Dead Sea Scrolls, ancient Hebrew. You understand? All right, so that was it on that question. Now we want to find hot, cold, and lukewarm. All right, that might be a challenge. Hot and cold should be easy. I'm gonna see if I can find lukewarm for you though.
Should be all in that one scripture, Revelation.
Yeah, Revelations got the Greek, so I
Hebrew.
kind of have to back into it basically if I can. So Tamika Odom, why come there aren't any pronunciation to show the start and finish of a sentence? So I'm not sure what you mean. I guess you're talking about like if you find because in modern Hebrew they do, and you find it in the text. If you read any text, really, you find a Hebrew Bible, they have punctuation, right? Uh, Ancient Hebrew, I'm not so sure because we had to find the artifacts and see if it was, something written in a form with uh, punctuation. So I'm not sure. We had to find something. So if you got something that's written in ancient Hebrew, we can look at it. All right. So let's get hot and cold. Where that question at the top? Because that was the next question. All right. First, let's find hot. Give me 1 second. We'll look it up. All right. So if you go to your Blue Letter Bible, you can look up the word hot, right? So just type it in. And for those who don't have the Blue Letter Bible on your phone, you can put it, just go to the website on your laptop or computer, just type in blueletterbible.com, right? And we can look up these words together, which is really the best way to do it for class, so you know how to look up words in Hebrew. All right. So let's look up the word hot. All you have to do is type it in the search. It's a little search. Once you go inside the Blue Letter Bible, you type the word hot. All right. And Exodus 16 and 21 is the first scripture that pops up as an option with the word hot in it. And so you can click Exodus 16 and 21. And then it'll give you each of the Hebrew letters as well as it'll give you each of the English letters with the Hebrew letters on the right hand side. All right. So then you just find hot. And it said wax hot. And the word is as so, right? So we'll put it in Assyrian first.
Salaki.
What's up?
So when you read the Blue Letter Bible, do you read it from right to left too?
What do you mean?
When you read it, do you read it right to left or left to right?
Absolutely. If you're reading the Hebrew, all Hebrew,
Come.
regardless of where it's at, is from right to left.
Come.
All right. So my mind looks a little funky. This handwritten mind be killing me. All right. This is kama, kamam, right? That's the word for hot. We're gonna put it in Assyrian and ancient because it's a little easier to understand. So the ka, and then the ma, and then the ma. Is that word connected at the end? Yeah. Kamam. Kamam, right? So that word means hot. This is Assyrian. This is ancient Hebrew. And in ancient Hebrew, you got the connectors, right? Usually, generally speaking, the last two letters are connected. Not always, but generally speaking, you got the ka, and then the ma, and then another ma, kamam, right? So that's how you say hot. Now let's get cold. Go back to your blue letter Bible. You can type in the word cold. And the first scripture that pops up is Genesis 8:22. Right? So we find the word in Genesis, let's say 8:22, and the word is quar. Right? Let's get it in Assyrian. Assyrian, is that right? Quar. Yep. Quar. So Assyrian, that's the quar. It looks like an unfinished R, almost, maybe a little bit longer right there. And then the Ra. Right? So that's quar, means cold. And in ancient Hebrew, the quar looks like this. And then the Ra looks like this. So that would be connected. Quar. This would be come on. All right. Because I know where you, and I think you put lukewarm in there. So this one might be a little bit more difficult for me to find, but we're going to try to get it. So because you are neither komam or quar, right? So let's see if we can find lukewarm. And I think I spelled that komam wrong. Should be another A in there. And you know I spelled it wrong because the ka is not connected, meaning all the letters are going to be there, right? So that's cool. All right, let's find lukewarm. All right, this one is a little bit more difficult to find. Because you have to find an equivalent word, you know, in the Old Testament. I'm gonna have to take that one down for you, Tamika. Lukewarm. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try one more source. All right, so I found the Hebrew word online. That's another way you can look up, you know, words. So it's Pawashar. All right, we'll get that one. That's the Pa. That's the Wa. Pawashar. And then the Ra. Right? Pawashar. So that would be Assyrian. Then ancient, the Pa would look like this. Pa Wa Sha Ra. Pa Wa Sha. Pa Wa Sha. All right. Kamam Kwar Pawashar. All right. So those words, the first two words, anything in the Old Testament is easy to look up, right? As far as Hebrew words, because obviously the Old Testament was originally written in Hebrew, right? So that's the source, where the New Testament was originally written in Greek, right? And that's because a lot of people, they try to say, you know, for whatever is not legit, but you got to realize at the time, Greek or Hebrew was an old language, you know, and as these other nations conquer, it's not like they're going to learn your language. You're going to learn their language. Right. If you conquer a people, you're not going to, you know, speak to them in their tongue. They're going to have to learn your tongue, or their backs going to get beat until they do. Prime example, English. Black people did not speak English, you know. Even if they did, it was, you know, as a second or third tongue. Who's to say? But the primary language that we spoke was Hebrew, right? So, and we learned English by getting our backs beat, right? That's why we spoke broken English. It was yes sir, yes master. You know, we didn't go to school to speak English. We were taught it by, you know, the whip, the lash. So that's the same thing with the New Testament. You know, we were under oppression from the Greeks and the Romans, and in fact, so much so that you know, the prophets in the New Testament had to go out to the Gentiles, which were Israelites. The prophets never went out to anybody who was considered a heathen by blood, right? You see that in the scriptures. It's talking about Israelites that were considered heathens or strangers or Gentiles, right? So anyway, hopefully you got that down, sis. Let's see. I think we had another question in here. How would you write a word in past, present, and future tense? Mickey, you got a lot of good questions. Let's see. I gotta get my notes. I think I got that one in my notes. If I got it in my notes, we can do it. If not, you have to wait till I get it for next week. But I'm pretty sure I got it. Give me 1 second. All right. I think I got it. Okay, so I have an example in my notes, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the word watch. So before we get into it, though, I want everyone who's following along, look up the word watch in your Blue Letter Bible. All right. So again, just blueletterbible.com. Type in the search, type watch. Genesis 34, 31, and 49 comes up. I don't think that's the one that I want, though. Hold on, give me 1 second. We're gonna find a different one. In Hebrew, there's several you could use. There's a Hebrew word can mean a few different things, right? And there's different words for the same thing, right? So sometimes the word, depending on the context, isn't the same. Give me 1 more second. We'll find the one that we want. All right. So we're gonna write I am watching. So this is I am watching. All right. So this is actually one of the generals' name. I.S.U.P.K, right? Watch. So like, let me make sure I got the right root word. But that is I am watching. I just want to confirm I got the correct root word so we can work from that. Shawamar, right, will be to watch. So Anya is I am. All right. I am. Shawamar. Watching. All right. So how do you say, all right, I'm watching. How do you say I watched? All right. So that's I am watching. How do you say I watched? Again, you got the Anya. So I. And then you got Shamataya, what would make Shamar from watch or watching to watched, right? What is that again? Shamar, right? Watch. Right. And then when you put the ya on there, the ya, the ya that goes from watch to watched. So I watched. So your root word Shamar, Anya is like I or I am, and then the ya makes it in the past. So you got the suffix, or suffix, the ya makes something in the past, right? The ya, I'm gonna have to remember that too, because I got that in my notes. But I've never went to something in the past before, like I did it. But that's good that you asked that, because um, all right, so let's see. We got the future, right? The future. So this top one was I am watching. This bottom one is I watched. This one is I will watch. I will watch. So again, if you're saying something with I, Anya, right? I, you got watch, Shamar, watch, right? And to say I will watch, it's Anya. I gotta slide this over, Salaki. I made it too tight. Put it over here. All right. This is watch. And to say I will watch, you just put an I. Yep, that's it. I will watch. Anya Shamar. So keep in mind your root word is watch or Shamar, right? That's your root word. You saying I or I am is Anya. I am watching Shawamar, right? I am watching Anya Shawamar. I watched Anya Shawamar. Yeah, Thaya. Let me make sure I got that right. What's that one? I watched. All right, that's correct. Anya Shawamar Thaya. That's the Thaya, which puts the ED, makes it in the past. Thaya. Right? And then I will watch. Anya Shamar. Anya Shamar. So that's I am watching, I watched, I will watch. I know that's out of chronological order. I watched, I am watching, I will watch. So really all you had to do is find your root word, right? So if you take out the root word, and really you don't need the I am, right? To say I'm watching, it's a ra, right? That makes it present. I watched the yeah. I will watch, meaning in the future. There's an I in between. Is it whether it's he will watch or she will watch? You put the I in between. So that one for sure is going to take some practice. Make sure you write that. If you didn't write it down, let me know. I'll put it back. But those prefixes and suffixes is going to really that's like what changes any Hebrew word, right? Just like a thumb, it goes from a th to a thumb. You change it from singular to plural, or you say brother, which is ak. You say akyum, which makes it plural, right? So you always got your root word, which will be ak. But once you add yum on it, then it becomes multiple brothers. So I watched, I will watch, I am watching. Hopefully that answers the question. So why is and? Clarify that question for me, Tamika, so I can make sure that I answer it correctly. Take me, which example were you talking about? But why by itself means and. Just for instance, we say Barak at the Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai. Bless the Lord and Jesus. You hear brother say that? Say Barakatai Yahweh wa Yahweh Shai. So wa means and. Right? But I want to make sure that I understand the question that you asked in reference to which one of those examples. Let me know. Any more questions over here? You got a question, young man, Mark?
Oh, no.
Robert Klein, Shalamar the band. What are you talking about, Robert Klein? He probably gone. That was a while ago. Looked like he posted that on YouTube. I think I know what you're asking. So you asking like an example where we were saying watching. Let's go back to that example. Right. So that I understand your question now. Right. So the root word, like I said, is shamar. Right. So the I am watching. Right. We said Anya, like we had up there. I am is Anya, and instead of shamar is shawamar. So yes, you are correct. The wa made it present. So I wouldn't say that it made it ing because obviously in Hebrew we don't have an ing, but to answer your question, yes, it made it present. Shawamar instead of shamar. So I am watching. All right. So that's a good question. You had a lot of good questions tonight. You part of the school, Tamika, or you married, or what? What's your story? Where you at? Who's your Lord? Right, that's correct. Watching Shawamar, watch Shamar. That's correct. You are correct. Because you seem like you've been in a couple of Hebrew classes before. You got some good questions. All right, that's it on the questions. Let me see if I think I had a couple other notes. Cap, I had found one of the answers that you had me research. I didn't find the following, but you asked something else, but I left it in my notes and I can't even remember what it was before. But I had found it. So next time I'll bring the notes that I have and then still I'm gonna try to find that following. I'll just reach out to a brother because I'm sure some other brother got it outside of me for sure. All right, I wanted to look up another word. This is a word that we often use, pretty common. So go to your Blue Letter Bible. Look up the word we. right, and is a little bit of challenge to find the word we without it being in conjunction with another word. So the first scripture that pops up is Genesis 3:1, or that one is actually, it says we may, actually Genesis 3:2 says we may eat. Well, we don't want we may eat, we just want the word we. Right. So I'm gonna find the word. That's some of what I was talking about earlier. A lot of these words, if you're not careful, you'll look them up in the wrong context. You can say, oh, this is the Hebrew word for we. But if you drill down and look at what it actually means, it says we may eat. But that's not what we want. So be sure when you're looking up these words in the Blue Letter Bible that you look in, make sure that you got the context all around it. And it's like the word by itself, not in relation to another word, if that makes sense. All right, so let's find, I think Genesis 11:4 may be what we want. Let me look at that one. That is not what we want, because that, even though we is part of the sentence, it means to scatter, to be dispersed, to be scattered. All right, so that's that. We don't want the pawataza. We don't want that one. Let's find another one. It's part of, that's it too. You got to do a little fishing for some of these words if you don't know it outright. Most High in Christ says.
Genesis 42:11.
You want to try that one?
Oh.
I'd be impressed if it just say we by itself. You're gonna impress me.
Oh no, it say we are in one man's son.
No, is it when you look
the beginning of the word though?
When you look it up in Hebrew, what is it? What does it say? Like I'm trying to find a word that's the definition of we. Like it is we by itself.
You say we are all one.
I find it. Actually, I already got it, but I want to see if we can find it in the Blue Letter Bible.
Okay.
All right. Well, if we don't get it in next, just for the sake of moving on, if we don't get it shortly, then I'll just post it what I got. But I was hoping to find it in here as well. You find anything, young man, Mark?
So all between the word.
Right.
You never said you don't think you can find we by itself.
So I got the word already though. So we'll go ahead and get the word anyway. Actually, I got one more spot I want to look. Then I'll post it. I actually found it earlier, but I can't remember which scripture I used for it. So, all right. All right. The sister asked earlier for tenses. So keep those notes on tenses because every class will be adding a different, what are these called? Pronouns, right? Pronouns. We is a pronoun, if I'm not mistaken. All I was a C English student. So anyway, every week we're gonna learn a new. We'll go I and we and he and she and they. We learn a new pronoun. I believe it's called. Forgive me if that's not the proper term to describe it. So the word for we is anaknawa. Anaknawa na. Hold on, let me make sure I got it.
It's in the prayer.
Anaknawa is the no, that's
Nakanawa.
Nawa means hour, right?
Nawa,
So,
okay.
Right. So when we talk about the Lord,
our Lord, Nakanawa, Yahweh, Yahweh.
Alahaya Nawa, our power, right?
Oh,
But anyway, Anak Nawa means we. So nah. Make sure I got it right.
Salak now is forgive us. Salak is like, pardon me, forgive me.
Wasalak Nawa.
Yeah, we'd be saying.
So why?
Forgive us.
Right,
Yes.
damn right, Cap. So why would be and Salakia or Salak would be forgive, excuse, right? But it's saying forgive, and Nawa is us. So Cap brought it up.
Can you still give me the papers of all the prayers and all that?
I owe you that. Don't let me forget it. I owe you that. I'm gonna bring some copies of the prayers for brothers, any brothers and sisters that attend class physically. You know what I mean? They'll have a copy of the prayers for sure. So. A knock. No. All right. So no. Right. A knock. Yep. Knock. No. A knock. No. All right. Man, that's a that's a lot of letters for we. It's like, in English, you 2 letters. It's like, 5 characters for we. Right? A knock. No. So that's the word for the week. I always say we. A knock. No. If the sister's still online, Tamika, this is only for her. Since we just went over how you say we watched, right? We watched, and I'll give you a hint. The ending, the ending will be the yeah. The yeah would be the ending. We watched. I'll let the sister put it in. Anak Nawa Shamar Thaya. Shamar Thaya, right? So Shamar is watch. Remember Thaya makes it in the past, right? Thaya. So Anak Nawa Shamar Thaya. Shamar Thaya. Remember Shamar is watch. Shamar.
It's in there?
Hmm?
It's in that word right there?
No, this is we. Shamar is to watch.
Oh, okay.
And then
Letters.
we said the yeah, remember? So
past tense.
Right.
Come.
The yeah.
Yeah. Some the rock. Make it.
Shamartha, yeah. Shamartha, yeah. What's her name? All right. So there's no more questions. You got any questions, young man, Mark?
I think a word, we trying to do something that we can learn where, everyday life where, so we don't want people to know what we saying.
That'll be dope. I'm not gonna lie, that'll be dope. When I come, I'll be like, yo, Shalom, y'all about people looking like, what did he just say?
I want to know, how do you say, what do you think?
What do you think? Can't be trying to like. What do you think?
Doing something.
Right.
What do you think? You know what I'm saying?
No,
earlier today. I was trying to think. I forgot it, but you know what I'm saying. That was going to ask.
Now you made me coming up with stuff, Cap. Hey, no, that's not good,
brother. What do you think?
Hey,
and then he start telling you in English what he think, but they don't know what you said first, so they don't know why you saying what you saying.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which is just like a way to kind of keep it under wraps.
I'm gonna take that one and bring it next week. What do you think? That way I could do a little studying on it and brush up on it.
No good.
No good. That's well, Twab is good, so no good.
Not to why.
Yeah.
Not to why. Nah, let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, that's it.
How do you say more?
More?
Yeah.
We can probably find.
Yeah. I know what you think when we find them Arabs and all that. But they got this. What they were speaking in Arabic. Yeah. We like, man, we gotta learn our Hebrew so we could be the same way. Yeah.
I want to say bullshit. Hey, ain't no bullshit. We don't want that. It's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Little hard words that we always use. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit.
Why?
You ain't gonna give us that.
What about increase, Cap?
Yeah, how you say it?
Increase.
Matter of fact, before I give you that one, let me look up more in the Blue Letter Bible. More. Yeah, so you got to take some time to look up because the example I look up more so. Let's see. Hold on, I think I got one. I-wad means but that's probably not what we need because the context of that is still, yet, again, besides. Well, it can mean more. It's used in the following manner: again, more, good, while, longer. I think probably a word that you would probably, if you like, give me some more or give me increase, it'd probably be a better word for it.
I want Cap. You know what I'm saying?
So I-wad is
all the time of the side.
So increase is rabah. Ra-ba-ha. Rabah. Increase. That's Strong 72.5.
It's not Rabah, it's Rabbi.
Yeah, that's what it's Rabah. The Ra, the Ba, and the Ha. Rabah. Increase. You got some more chicken? Rabah. Rabah, Baba Kusha.
And the hot sauce. Right.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and end it there. That's the sister do got one more. Why doesn't it have an A in Kana? I don't even. Damn, I didn't erase it. I'm not even sure, sis. If you back next week, ask me again. Cause I'm about fried salaki. Cause I don't even remember what this is related to. Why doesn't it have an A in the Kana? Khan? I'm not sure. All right, we get these announcements.
Lucky, I'm ready for the ancient. You know what I'm saying?
Everybody ready for the ancient. That's what everybody want to do. All they want to do is do the ancient. But guess what? When you read in a Hebrew Bible, you ain't gonna see ancient. You're gonna see Assyrian. So that's why you got to learn Assyrian.
Right.
All right. So I appreciate everybody who logged on for the questions. Most High in Christ. Hope you learned something. There's a lot of good questions tonight. A lot of good conversation. For I didn't know if that name was a brother or sister who logged on earlier. But you got the class address, you got the school address, you got the number. So we look forward to seeing you. You know what I'm saying? Come to the school and get down with the brothers for sure. All right. So it's the I.S.U.P.K security announcements. Where the I.S.U.P.K started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3 and 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew, ma'ashur. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, upcoming holy convocations. Is it Purim? Feast of Purim coming up?
In March.
Yep.
So we gotta know before the Passover, Kyle?
March 7th and March 8th, the Feast of Purim. That's an amazing story that's in the Bible. If you haven't read it, definitely you want to be around and celebrate that with you know what I'm saying, all the Akim, all the Akwakim. All right. And then, as always, we're always pumping the Passover. April 9th is going down. You know what I mean? You want to be there for the Passover in New York. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pant, headband, scarf. With that, I imagine. Upanya Hakwadam means turn to face the east. And do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Shabbat Shemayim.
Qadash.
Qadash.
I.S.U.P.K.
Isupk.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Alakwa. Taba'ah.
Ratazaka.
I.S.U.P.K. Ba'aratazah. Kawah. Bashamayim. Nathan Lakam. Kal. Yawam. Wasalak Lanaw. Kabwat Lanaw. Kasalak Lanaw. Wala'ah. Tabiyainaw. Banasar 1. Abal. Hawashainaw. Mayan. Rai. Kayat. Lakut. Amalakwa. Wa'ala. Watapara. Wa'awalanyam. Amun. Lord's Prayer in English. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth. As it is in heaven. Give us this day. Our daily bread. And forgive us our debts. As we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom. And the power. And the glory. Forever. So be it. Prayer for the Hakat, the power. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai. Baruch Kushah, Nathanawa, Hakat, La Rapah, Kal Makalah, Kal Malawa, Hakat, La Tahar, Hamatazarayim, Hakat, La Hakim, Hamathim, Hakat, Al Rakarawah, Hatama Allah, Lagarshan, Bahashim Yahushai, the water Aman. In English, Yahweh. In the name Yahushai. Please give us the power. The power to heal. All manner of sickness. And all manner of disease. The power to cleanse the lepers. The power to raise the dead. The power against unclean spirits. To cast them out. In the name Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh. Wa Yahushai. Wa Mayakala. Wa Alahayim. Matazabiyah. Alawap Yahanna. Ha Alawapim. Ha Saranyam. Ha Kwatazayayim. Ha Kayayayim. Wa Hayakwatiyam. Yahweh. Bahashim Yahushai. The water Aman. The blessings in the English. Bless you, Yahweh. And Yahushai. And Michael. And the angels. Commanding General Yahanna. The generals. The captains. The officers. The troopers. And the sisters. Yahweh. In the name Yahushai. Thank you. So be it. The anointing prayer in Hebrew. Yabarak Yahweh. Washamarkai. Ya'ar Yahweh. Kunyawa. Auyaka. Wayakanka. Yashar Yahweh. Kunyawa. Auyaka. Wayashamlaka. Shalom. Yahweh. Bahashim. Yahushai. Barak. Rapah. Magun. Hagun.
The Thurman family.
Sutton
family. Hill family.
All
destroyed of Israel. The Hall family. Todd family. Thurman family. Wright family. And all destroyed of Israel. Done.
All destroyed of Israel. Done.
All destroyed of Israel. Done.
Bahashim Yahushai. The water Aman. In the English, Yahweh bless thee and keep thee. Yahweh make his face shine upon thee. And be gracious unto thee. Yahweh lift up his countenance. Upon thee. And give thee peace. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Bless. Heal. Shield. Protect. I.S.U.P.K. curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh. King of heaven and earth. And all things living. Yahweh. In the name of Yahushai. Listen to us now. Right now. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. That speak against us. Thy prophets. The teachers. The princes. The priests. The Israelite brothers. And the school. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the heathen. And shake loose the treasures. Of the rich of Israel. That refuse to give to the school. Force their riches. To enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses. And punishment and destruction. To the Edomites. And the nations. And their drug dealers. The court system. The prison system. Planned Parenthood. All the governments of our enemies. Amalek synagogues and armies. Roman Catholic Church. The Pope. Islam. Christianity. Egyptology. Militia. Ku Klux Klan. Aryan Nation. Skinheads. Posse Comitazi. The gay movement. The lesbian movement. Spies. Workers of witchcraft. NASA space program. Army. Navy. Air Force. Marines. Wall Street. Open up the internet. And the airwaves. The cable access channel. And the radio channel. channel.
And the radio channel.
Convict the spirit.
Convict the spirit
Of any of thy people.
of any of thy people
That seek to stop us.
that seek to stop us.
And bring swift destruction.
That bring swift destruction
To all the heathens.
to all the heathens
That stand in the way.
that stand in the way.
Or try to stop us.
That try to stop us
From broadcasting your
from
word.
broadcasting our words
Throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Let loose all the plagues.
Let loose all the plagues.
Cause them to go to and fro.
Cause them to come to and from
Through the earth.
through the earth
And consume them.
and consume them.
Let the plague shake.
Let the plague shake
The house of the thief.
the house of the thief
And the murderer.
and the murderer.
Let Yahawashi.
Let Yahawashi,
Michael and Gabriel.
Michael and Gabriel
Come down with the flying
come
saucer.
down with the flying saucer
And punish all the heathens.
and punish all the heathen
That come up against us.
that come up against us
As we speak thy word.
as we speak thy word.
Cause it be known by all.
Cause it be known by all
That it is the angels.
that is the angels
That have done it.
that have done it.
Cause it to be spread.
Cause it to be spread
Through the media.
to the media
Throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake at thy coming.
Cause it to shake at that coming.
In the name of Yahawashi.
In the name of Yahawashi.
Thank you always.
Thank you always.
So be it.
So be it.
Sir, which means the turn. Give a courteous salute. Min Israel, Madam Shabbat. I Majum. Barak.
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah,
Barakatam. Guys, Matah. Give a courteous salute to the sisters. Min Israel, Madam Shabbat. I Majum. Barak. Yahweh Shema, Hashem, Yahweh Shah. Guys, Matah. Class dismissed.
Here's that Bible you was looking for.
Camera?
School camera?
No,